it's for anywhere and anytime at all. Down here in the Ed Asner Family Center.
You are a professional signer.
Not my first rodeo, but if anybody wants these personalized, let me know. What's the artist's name on this one?
His name is Justin Olson.
Justin Olson. Really well done. I should hold it up to the camera. Yeah, Justin.
Who are you calling Pinhead?
Oh, man. I'm going to be in Chicago this week.
Hi, Bryson.
By the way.
No, this is Patrick. Favorite episode?
Favorite episode of WhatsApp? Oh, no, of SpongeBob.
The pilot.
Pancakes.
Here's something different. There's a squanchy there.
There's a squanchy there. Like I'm squanching in here, bro. Squanchy is just my terrible Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, by the way. Full disclosure. The squanchy voice is just my unsuccessful Shaggy impression.
Hi, Caroline.
Somebody wanted you to say panty raid, Clance.
Panty raid!
That's the episode that has been buried by Nickelodeon, by the way. That is like deep underground.
Clancy, I think we have at least one here from Thor Ragnarok.
Whoa! Is there one?
See what happens?
Chaos ensues.
Just had a 6.3.
That was never. Wow. Cut to Tom jumping on the.
Now I don't trust my table.
I'd be under the table.
Don't jump under
I don't trust my chair.
I think I signed it already.
I would throw these guys out of the way and trample on them to get out.
What?
I think you fixed it. You did that with your mind. You're like,
Yeah, like, well, this is fun.
this is fun. We love working with you.
Yeah. Well, if it's for friends.
Who do stuff together.
Who do stuff
Together,
together.
you is for you and me. And it's for anywhere and anytime and all. Down here in the Ed Asner Family Center.
Oh, see, she's taking out her feet.
That was fancy. Did you
I have no
guys know
friends.
that she did that?
Mr. Krabs, they want to know, how is your daughter a whale? How is Pearl a whale?
She's a very good whale.
See? So she's doing well. I think that's what they meant, is how is she?
How is she?
Yeah.
She's doing well. She's doing very well.
She's doing very well. Yeah. Thanks for it.
Except when she spouts off.
My favorite superheroes were always the bench warmers. You know, the big ones. I always liked the guys that were like third string. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. Ant-Man always was like, I can talk to ants. It's like, oh, that's useful. You know, I always thought if I was a superhero, I'd be that guy, like Matter Eater Lad. You know.
Well,
What about Plastic Man?
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He's my favorite.
So if you could
and I've gotten to
join
voice him a bunch of times.
Marvel or DC, if you could join a superhero movie and lend more than just your voice, you know, play any superhero, who would you like to play?
Well, you know, I would try to pick. You know, my biggest comics reading was during the '70s. You know, because I was born in '62. So you know, that was the height of my comics reading, was '70s Marvel. And there was during the Trucker CB phase, there was a superhero called Razorback. That like dressed, he was like a redneck guy, and he wore like a big hog head, and he drove like a super-powered 18-wheeler. And I'm like, I want to bring that back. I think it's time for like Convoy.
That was my neighbor in
White Line
Arkansas.
Fever, Jan Michael
My neighbor down the street in Arkansas.
You heard it here
Like that
first.
kind of movie?
Tom Kenny for Razorback.
Razorback.
Squidward was in a superhero movie.
What?
Remember?
was.
I think it was a Fantastic Four. He was mentioned. So I think it was Iron Man.
Iron Man.
He called somebody else Squidward.
Because of his nose. Something about the nose.
I'm Dirty Dan, Jake the Snake.
I always like
Ducky, I do have a great
Bizarro
collection.
World,
The world's biggest.
That really freaked me out when I was a kid. Yeah.
Bizarro World,
Yeah,
Wheels M Square.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love the Bizarro World. Yeah. I know, I like comics when they're not too serious. You know,
that's why
Everything's
Adam
like-
West is the greatest.
He's the best
Batman.
guy.
Yeah.
No question. No
Well,
question.
Adam-
the only Batman as far as I'm concerned.
Adam West and Burt Ward are referenced in SpongeBob, of course.
Yes.
With
absolutely.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Absolutely.
Mermaid.
And a lot of the you know, Mermaid Man comics were drawn in that Silver Age style by actual Silver Age woman comics artists, which is kind of amazing. You know, it's kind of a man's world, especially back then. Ramona Fraden, who also drew a lot of the '60s plastic mans, And yeah, she's wonderful.
I think you know more about comics than anyone I know.
I know about comics. I don't know about movies about comics, but I know I know about comic books.
So Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are a Batman and Robin reference, but
Yes, or Aquaman and Aqualad as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the boatmobile, they have a boatmobile,
Yes.
an invisible boatmobile. But
Which is kind of like Wonder Woman's airplane.
so a lot of people have mentioned Barnacle Boy looks a lot like Squidward. And they are very, very similar in attitude and in their looks.
And very similar in sound too.
In
With
sound.
Tim,
Yeah,
Tim,
you're right,
Tim and I
yeah.
had one small exchange together. We were just going ha 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 ha. That's highlight of my career.
I was actually thinking
Man
that.
kinda looks like SpongeBob too.
Well, I was actually thinking that Mermaid Man actually has a lot more in common with Patrick, and he even wears a starfish on his face, right on the nose.
Yeah.
Yes, you're straddling his. Wow.
That was one of those insane, one of the many insane things that happened with the show was to sit in a room with two of my comic heroes of when I was a childhood, in my childhood, from McHale's Navy.
You know, it's very meta in this SpongeBob SBU, that SpongeBob universe.
Oh,
cast.
the SBU. That's a new one.
Yeah, that's what they call it, the SpongeBobiverse.
The SpongeBob.
There isn't just one universe. There are universes everywhere, I guess.
It's like
Bill, Patrick has his own show now,
Yeah.
and how's that? Is it fun to expand more on Patrick?
Yeah, well, it's fun because when you see what the writers do and how inspired they are, it's the stuff they're cranking out for content is so much fun.
Yeah, and that show, the Patrick Star Show focuses more on Patrick and his family, you know, because Patrick and his sister Squidina, played by my wife Jill, who's also carrying the computer, have like a kind of a, you know, Wayne's World sort of a cable access kind of show that they do from their house. So that kind of leaves the writing open to kind of do almost like a sketch show where you can do different segments, you know, like Bullwinkle or Hell's a Poppin' or something.
With Patrick's real parents.
Yes, with Patrick's actual parents. Yes.
We finally figured it out.
Oh, full cast puzzle. Wow. Oh, no.
Here you go.
Careful.
And then you might break the table again.
I didn't break it the first time. Oh, great. Blame much?
Get back
I'm
in the kitchen.
joking.
Table shaming?
Oh, what about how SpongeBob snores, Tom?
Oh, well, that's
Did you sign
How
the
does
puzzle?
SpongeBob?
that's a genius story.
Tom, can you say, I don't need it? I don't need it. I don't need it.
I don't know. Oh, there's a future for Squidward.
Oh, there's you.
Future.
Future.
I was going to wear that shirt today, but I copped out.
I've got a shirt here that says, "Here lies Squidward's hopes and dreams."
Nice.
I want that shirt.
We can all. Roger, you don't have it?
I don't have it.
Hey, Brian.
Roger, by the way,
One of the few.
we should say that Roger has what may be, and pending certification, the largest collection of Spongobelia.
I am submitting that to the Guinness Book of World Records soon, and if you saw the promo that I did for this event here, that's one wall of my collection. So it's taken over the house.
Raj, what's happening with that?
I'm just adding more and more, and I need to add more house.
And then what about the verification?
It's in the process of it right now. I'm still filling out the application. It's rather lengthy.
With Guinness?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you doing a GoFundMe so you could have add on to your house?
No, but now that you mention it, it's a pretty good idea.
That's true. Well, St. Patrick's Day is coming up, so I'm going to be drinking Guinness soon. So
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
That's a world record.
Do any of you have a character that you think is more fun or just as fun to play than your main character?
In the Patrick Show, I've been allowed to do this character, Captain Quasar.
Great.
And we give homage to Shatner in it. Not an exact rendition of it, but it's always talking a little bit like that, you know. very much punctual.
Very dramatic.
Yes. Organic species.
Yeah, we get to, just kind of pay tribute to stuff we like on the show a lot.
Oh, I always try and make an extraneous character Paul Lynn. I always wanted to try a Paul Lynn. It's not always desired, but
Ever so often by accident.
It's always up to Tom.
Isn't it?
It's always up to Tom.
Yeah, that is. That's the gold SpongeBob.
Gold! Can we hear everyone's signature laugh?
Clancy, how's the filming of John Wick going?
It's over. It opens the 24th.
Wow.
March 24th.
March
Do you
24th.
survive?
Go see
Do
John
you
Wick
die?
4.
I can't tell you.
Oh, did you have to sign
John Wick ninjas will come and get
ABC?
you.
Whoa.
But we can say that this is, this is not the first crossover between, between John Wick and the SpongeBob.
That's
world.
right. That's right.
Oh, Keanu and Clancy have worked together on the SpongeBob movie, right?
Keanu was in the last SpongeBob feature, that was released during COVID. So
He was a tumbleweed.
Yeah, he was a tumbleweed named Sage. And so, but because it happened during pandemic and there was never any red carpet,
I
never got to meet him.
I actually have a little bit of a trivia game here to see if you know if I spout off a random SpongeBob quote. If anybody knows what character said that, so I'm calling it Who Said It.
Who said it?
This quote is, "It all started when I was born."
You said it.
Well, I just did, yeah.
It all start. Oh, was that Patrick?
I believe it's me.
It's actually Squidward.
It all started when I was born.
Wow.
See?
Look at that.
Now, how about this one? Well, if I was a robot, which I'm not, at least I'm well put together.
That's you. No.
It's
Oh, it's
Clancy.
you,
I have
Clancy,
no memory of saying that, so it must not be. But the fact that I have no memory of it doesn't mean I didn't say it.
Well, how about this, Tom? You
Yes?
don't need a license to drive a
Oh,
sandwich.
that's me. That's on the first movie.
Yeah.
When we rode the Wild Hasselhoff.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't need a license to drive a sandwich.
That's correct.
Hey, Bill, will you be at a Comic-Con soon?
I don't think so, unless we go to San Diego this summer.
Are you done? Did you hang up your jersey?
I don't know.
I've got one more quote for you. It is, "Please do not land flying ice cream trucks on the bathers."
That is not me.
I don't know.
Was that Larry?
It was Larry.
Wow. 'cause
Oh,
he's a lifeguard.
nice.
See?
Wow.
I use my Vulcan logic to come up with that.
Yeah.
A flying ice cream
Don't
truck.
really remember it. Hey. Wow. How did this guy sneak in there? Eduardo totally snuck in. That's crazy. Loco.
So when you're getting into character for these roles, I know getting into character for a sea sponge is a little different, but have any of you over the past 23 years learned any any facts about your species? Have you learned any does Clancy have like this Rolodex of crab facts or anything or?
Well, I do know that.
I know that they're the scavengers of the coral reefs.
And I also know, one thing I know about crabs, it's very, very hard to get them to attend Comic-Cons.
They do not.
It was the longest time before I learned that I was an octopus. I thought it was not a squid. And
still in therapy.
Yeah.
He's still in therapy.
With only 6 legs.
And people ask me all the time, why, if he's an octopus, why is he called Squidward? And I said, well, Octoword just didn't cut it.
Yes.
Well, why does he have 6 legs?
For anthropomorphical convenience.
Does that mean, and animation convenience.
Animation convenience. Yeah.
Does that
Like
mean
3
that you're-
fingers.
Does that mean that your mother was the Octomom?
Yes. I've got a lot of brothers and sisters, too.
We did an episode of, was that the Patrick Show, Tom, where we actually delved into how sea stars eat, which is pretty intense.
They extrude
There's a
their
stomach, throat, mouth access
Those wallets are cool.
tube, whatever. Yeah, it's
See the backpacks.
it's kind of once you see
It's
it.
not pretty. These also are by Funko, aren't they?
Those are, but yeah, Loungefly is owned by
Yeah.
Funko.
They're owned by Funko. They have
Did you sign
kind of
this
a
one, Tom?
Fashion line now, and so this is one of the things that they do. They do purses.
I'll pass that on to
And they're
Tom.
really adorable. They do one. They have one backpack that's got like a Krabby Patty on it. Have you seen that one?
No, we have
it's
a we have a
great.
SpongeBob one here. Milo,
Maybe
you want to
that's
throw a
the one.
backpack over here?
Yeah, I saw it at the Funko store.
You've worked with Tom
Thank you,
before,
thank
and
you.
you've worked
It's
with
nice.
Clancy, right, Spencer?
I met Clancy at the poker tournament.
Spencer, do you play poker?
I don't. I want to learn. And
You
I,
two. This is the man. And these two guys. Both these
No,
guys.
not me. Yeah, definitely.
Clancy, did you report your winnings to the IRS?
It's very close to April 15th. Oh, that's good. Chicken meme SpongeBob.
That has turned into a phenomenon with it has a different
memes.
meaning.
It's crazy.
It's more of a mocking.
It's mocking SpongeBob, they call it. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, which is not really the initial intent of the drawing, but it kind of fits. That's what I love about those memes. Is somebody will just take a random pose of these characters and then repurpose it to say that picture is me when this happens, and it's kind of cool. It's almost like folk art, like repurposing. I'm a big recycler, you know, so yeah, I love it.
Have you seen the I'm Outta Here one?
Oh, great. Yeah. I'm a head out.
Yeah, I'm a head out.
I'm a head out.
How are we doing?
All proceeds, 100% goes to the Ed Asner Family Center, which is an amazing place that does amazing things.
Yeah.
It sure does.
Spencer, you're a regular here, right?
I am.
Like, how often do you come to the Family Center?
I come to the Ed Asner Family Center every day because there's a new program for the adults.
Fantastic.
For young adults.
Young adults.
Yeah.
What's it like being an adult? I have no idea.
Tom has never bothered.
Yeah,
I didn't take that class. Yeah. Tom never took that class.
And it's an adult day program. It teaches you how to do how you get your first job and how you become an artist. I came to the Ed Asner Family Center since I was young.
Like teens, you think?
Yeah, like around my 20s.
Okay.
I just came to the Ed Asner Family Center. You get to be just a shell then.
Yeah.
What kind of show? Like a sand dollar?
No, a building shell. It has nothing in it.
Mr. Krabs
But also, Spencer,
$10.
you act, you sing, you do all kinds of stuff. You wear a lot of hats.
Yes, I do.
And you draw, and you make art.
Yeah, I love to draw. I like to make I love crafting.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I know, you're amazing. You have so much
Look at that crap.
so many skills. I'm
Look
jealous.
at that crap you made.
I'm jealous of you.
Oh, Spencer made that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's one of these shrinky dinks.
Shrinky dinks.
I have all sorts of Spencerbelia.
Someone wants to know, do you guys have a favorite episode that you've done?
Sweet, sweet victory.
About the sweet.
Hi, Tracy. I love the pilot because I love it when Squidward goes,
A hydro. What? Oh, Mr. Krabs, you're horrible.
Hash slinging slasher is one of my favorites.
Oh, he's scary. He's even scarier than those
Tony
Nosferatu.
Pickled Herring.
Night, 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 night.
Well, the phone will ring and when nobody there.
And green slime will ooze from the walls. Wait, that always happens.
A Mr. Krabs sold for over $800.
Wow.
And SpongeBob's Pineapple House sold for $700.
Woo!
Wow.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Wow.
And we're saving this one for last. There's only 1,000 of these in the world, and it's the only Plankton Funko Pop they've ever made. He's the little pop buddy.
Is that right?
Is that right?
Plankton. This is his only Plankton, and the only.
That's weird.
Only 1,000 people got it from San Diego Comic Con in 2014.
Wow.
See Roger Sauer.
No wonder.
I want it.
I wonder why they don't do plankton. That's pretty weird.
Maybe because he's small.
Yeah, I know. Is it a scale thing?
This is called a Pop Buddy, and with Spyro they did one for Sparks.
Yeah, they did.
So they could do more Pop Buddies. I feel like.
I think they could.
Or they should do a chum bucket, sort of like they did the Pineapple House. They should do a chum bucket with a Plankton.
There you go.
Funko, are you listening?
What did the Pineapple House sell for?
Over $700.
Wow, that's actually more than the actual house is worth in studios.
You know, Clancy has played more than one character that was, a little concerned with money. He was trying to save money on his taxes in Shawshank Redemption.
Oh,
Well,
that's right.
yeah.
Well, I was complaining about it.
Yeah, you were.
Profanely.
And what's the big business show you were on? You know, the
big
Succession.
billion
Is it
show?
Succession?
Billions.
Billions, yeah. Yeah, I get them all mixed up.
Showtime.
But yeah, so billions, that's kind of money oriented too.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
You're being typecast is what's happening. Is you're being typecast as the money guy. That's why they bring you to the...
Billions doesn't have to be money. It could be billions and billions of people.
Yes.
Billions and billions of stars.
Like Carl Sagan.
Billions and billions of galaxies.
Billions and billions. Yeah.
He likes his money.
Yeah. Yeah, billions. I like when people say billions with a B. It's like, yeah, I know how to spell it. You know what I mean? Billions with a B. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they do say that.
I know. I've said it hundreds of times with an H. You know. Shut up.
Look at that lounge. Look at his little legs dangling out there. It almost looks like a MODOK.
Is that Patrick?
He's
so cute.
It's like a MODOK SpongeBob.
Oh, and I voiced MODOK.
You voiced MODOK?
Yeah, Superhero Squad, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
You voiced,
The guy that just got convicted?
No, MODOK.
Oh, I thought you said Murdoch.
Murdoch.
But you were in a
Superhero Squad, which was like the Fisher Price Little People version of the Marvel Universe.
Oh, you were also, wait a minute, you were on
and I was Iron Man,
Spider-Man.
American, and I was Spider-Man in something.
No, Doc Ock?
I was Doc Ock.
And Vulture?
And I was Spider-Man in some 4D movie that was at Madame Tussauds Museum. Like I was Spider-Man. Yeah.
Tom and I.
It was only shown in the museum.
Where do you find the time?
Tom and I were both Doc Ock.
You were both Doc Ock.
I'm Doc Ock at the Spider-Man ride at Universal in Florida, and he's in it.
I'm on the ride. I've ridden on the ride when my kids were little.
Yeah.
You're also another doctor.
Did I know you then?
Dr. Membrane from Invader Zim.
Oh, wait, then you're Dr. Light.
Dr. Light. I do doctors.
In Teen Titans.
I'm not a doctor,
Dr.
but I
Light.
play one on television. I play 3.
Great doctor.
Squidward is not your first octopus.
And I'm also Dr. Gill in our show. Boom, Patrick, you've got the sense of.
You're just a lot of doctors.
The officious doctor.
I play one on television.
Yeah.
So check this out. This is called a display vault. Oh, wow. This is made by a company called Vaulted Vinyl. Look, there's the keys. This is a display vault. You can go to a Comic-Con with your favorite Funko Pops and carry them around on display like this.
Wow.
Nice.
So Vaulted Vinyl actually sponsored tonight's event, and they donated all the pop protectors. All the pop protectors are Vaulted Vinyl, and this display vault is selling as a bundle with a Patrick, a Squidward, and a SpongeBob all in one.
And
it locks
hopefully
and everything.
you guys will pay a bundle for it because it all goes to the Ed Asner family.
Absolutely.
Collect the whole set.
The handcuff set comes extra.
Yes, exactly. I know. It's like Dan Aykroyd's harmonicas and the Blues Brothers. You know?
Yeah.
I'm Squidward, I'm Squidward, I'm
I'm
Squidward.
Squidward. I'm Squidward.
It's the best song ever. Yeah.
Can any of you do pretty good impressions of other of your co-stars? Can you do?
These guys all can.
Because you do a pretty good Squidward and a
I love doing
Krabs.
Squidward and
he's
Mr.
Mr.
Krabs.
I went to college. I will destroy you.
Plankton's tricky. He's impossible to do.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, nobody can do that.
Plankton does Larry the Lobster,
Yeah.
and also the fish announcer, right?
Yeah. The who's based on Ted Knight's Super Friends guy. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, that guy. So, that was Ted
And
Knight.
you narrate.
And don't forget Fred.
Yes, 2 hours later.
And don't forget Fred the fish. My leg.
My leg, Fred.
My eyes.
Thank you.
So who says my leg?
That is Fred.
Mr. Lawrence as
but
well.
Voiced by Mr. Lawrence. Yeah, that character eventually got named Fred.
Everything's
you
been
remember
signed.
everything, Spencer. You're ridiculous.
Dun, 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 dun,
We
dun,
can set this
dun.
over on the end of the table, but everything's been signed.
Tell Spencer we still reminding us of stuff that
Yeah.
he said on all right shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in there. It's the dancing
2
Squidward.
hours later.
Can you really dance like that?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Roger,
have
another
to write
request
it
for you.
down
Somebody
for
wants you to
Guinness?
pose like the Squidward on your shirt. Roger's like, which Squidward shirt do I have on? I have 5,000 of them.
Oh, there he goes.
Nice. Nice. What's Krabby Patty formula? Funko Robert, I can't tell you because then I'd have to, no, can't do it.
Oh no.
Can Desmo get a shout out? No shout outs for Desmo. Desmo, no. Desmo, no shout outs for you.
Desmo.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what's on here. I'm just gonna hand random pages, but these are
What's the secret ingredient?
These are the top 100 movie quotes.
Love.
And
Wow.
we want to see if Patrick, Squidward, and the gang want to read some of the most famous movie quotes. And there's Matt printed out 100 of them.
Oh, great. I'm going to go with 86. Dog Day Afternoon. Erica! I'm robbing this bank so Patrick can get that operation he needs.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too. And anybody else that wants to wander by at that moment.
There's some fun movie stuff out there. We did around season 3 where some guy had us come into a studio and we did scenes from The Godfather, Casablanca, and American Apparel.
I believe that was for the
That was for Annie's.
Was
Yeah,
that
that
why
was
you
for the
did it?
That was for the Annies, yeah.
was for the
Yeah,
Annie
we did
Awards.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to do that again.
Yeah.
Well,
Those of you-
that's on YouTube. It's
Yeah.
great.
We got to find some more
The
movies
Annies
and do
would
that.
Fun stuff like
Just say it into the mic.
And into the bush.
one year, and I've been looking for this. I don't know where it is. Shatner and I reenacted the Kirk Gorn fight at Vasquez Rocks. Vasquez Rocks.
Wow.
Yes, and I was dressed in a tuxedo. That was my Gorn costume.
What was he wearing?
Watch it. Yeah.
What was he wearing?
Oh, you know, Shatner, you know.
Casual
Yeah,
clothes, yeah.
well, he was dressed like a velour running suit. And Shatner in real life dresses like the $6 million man. You know, the nice velour running suit. But my favorite quote, great thing that Shatner said to me that I wish I had gotten as my phone ring. I need some of that Tom Kenny energy.
Don't we all?
Leave a message.
You don't voice Doodle Bob, right?
No, Doodle Bob, Spooky Doodle Bob. Speaking of the Wizard of Oz, he's kind of like the Flying Monkeys. Is that I speak to many young adults now who tell me that Doodle Bob freaked them out when they were kids.
Sure.
And he's still the stuff of nightmares. Yeah. So Doodle Bob was always done. I think Paul Tibbett, whoever was producing the show at the time,
Yeah, it was Paul.
has done it. And
It was Paul.
so it was Tibbett, and then I think other people have done it. Never me. Never me. Wasn't the airplanes. Was Beauty killed the beast. No.
I'm pretty sure it was the airplanes.
No, it wasn't the airplanes. It was Beauty killed the beast. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have been the shooting and the falling from the very tall building, but, I'm no doctor.
Pretty sure it was the airplanes. Yeah.
Oh, I'm ugly and I'm proud. Those actually are my words that I live by.
Yeah. How are things going between Mr. Krabs and Mrs. Puff?
Oh, well, they say they're just friends, but, I'm not sure. It's, neither one is looking for commitment. They're just, they just are looking to hang out and, once in a while, if it catches fire.
Shuffleboard.
Yeah.
Some brandy shuffleboard.
Which, by the way, while we're speaking of Mrs. Puff, Mary Jo Catlett.
Yay.
That voices Mrs. Puff.
Yay.
Crazy. There's also never been a Mrs. Puff Funko Pop.
No.
Right.
And that woman is ridiculous. She's been doing this in this crazy business for obviously longer than any of us, and just killing it. And she's such a joy to work with, and like voiceover wise, it just gives you everything you need. Is right there. Like
She was on Broadway in the 60s.
Yeah.
The driving school episodes are probably some of my favorites.
Yes.
The 24. I mean, that's.
And I'm not much of a deep dive YouTuber.
The light bulbs.
I'm not much of a social media deep diver, but or YouTuber or whatever. But I have gone down the rabbit hole of some of those Dark Side of Mrs. Puff videos, those biographies.
Really?
Oh my God!
Really?
Oh my God! These guys, they're like, it's like John Madden's chalkboard, and they just like all this crazy stuff. But wait, in this episode, she claims that so it's all like Mrs. Puff has this insane past, like serial liar.
I love her dark
serial
criminal
liar,
history.
Insane woman, Mrs. Puff.
Yes, my CAMPFR.
Simplifies the song. It was so long as he was Clancy and Roger here.
Can Tom say if he snores? No, my wife does. She claims I snore. I say she snores louder. This is a continuum.
You snore.
Yeah, you snore. Spencer,
Yeah.
what did Dan Povenmire and Swampy Marsh create for Disney?
Phineas and Ferb.
I knew you would know. I didn't even have time to get out. Da 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 da. She's like, Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
Oh, Ducky wants to know what's our favorite SpongeBob item, toy, and I just had to throw it in the toilet training kit.
Whoa.
And I've almost mastered it, so it's
Missed it by that much.
missed it by that
Yeah.
much.
Does it talk to you?
Yes, it does.
You can
Yes.
do better.
Oh no.
You lose.
You better get a bidet.
It's the best bidet ever.
Best day ever.
See, this is what we're like. We're always spritzing. Hey, I saw this go by a while ago, and I can't believe that my non-existent short-term memory actually remembers it. But Bryce, we owe a birthday shout-out to Bryce, who is actually turning 24.
That is
That's
So
awesome.
next year, yeah. What's even older than 24?
It's gonna be on the hook.
Yeah. Stepping on the beach, doot doot doot. Stepping on the beach, doot doot doot.
Subaru is my special name for Patrick.
Oh.
That's what somebody says.
Tom,
like
you worked with Ed Asner before,
Yeah.
and he appeared on SpongeBob.
Yeah. We all worked with him, and when he did, was it Krabby Old Man, Angry Old Man? I can't remember.
Grumpy Old Man.
Grumpy Old Man. Yeah, sorry. And I think at one point there was talk of trying to get him to be one of our Santa Clauses, and then it didn't work out, which was totally our loss. But yeah, and my mom, I remember when he did our show, my mom was visiting L.A. at the time, and her and my dad were huge fans of the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Lou Grant, you know, the more serious spin-off. And yeah, she was just so thrilled to meet him and getting a photo with him. Yeah, she still talks about it.
He was in one of the first cartoons I did. He was in Gargoyles.
So Bill met him before any of us.
Yeah, he was a regular. And Clancy, you were in the pilot. Gargoyles.
I worked with Ed also.
Ed
Ed and I were co-hosts at the voiceover panel at the Washington, D.C. Film Festival a couple of years ago. I have a little picture here. I would love to show you, but
You and Ed?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah. He was absolutely great in the panel. You know,
Oh, God.
irascible, just funny and nice as all get out. So it's one of my treasured moments.
Well, when I think irascible, I pretty much think of Ed Asner and Squidward.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the
Pretty
all
much,
irascible all the time panel.
Irascible.
Yeah,
we-
irascible.
Did you ever see that? Is it the Naked City that he's Ed Asner?
Oh,
an episode of that. That
Yeah.
was great.
He did an episode of Naked City, right?
He did 2.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a great
2.
show.
Yeah.
I love that show.
He did one with Robert Blake.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yep.
I don't
Former
think
neighbor.
that's the one I saw.
Yeah, and then he was in a Outer Limits as well, which I saw not too long ago. Yeah, the '60s Outer Limits. Yeah, amazing.
While we wait for Jill, I was going to ask, did any of you think in 1999 that this show about these sea creatures would end up being the longest running Nicktoon?
Of course.
Spencer did.
I think, yeah.
Because that is the record, right? Longest running Nicktoon.
Yeah, next year is the 25th anniversary, which is insane. So yeah, so
No one expected.
No one thought.
We were just having the check cleared on the pilot, and then
Yeah.
It was. It's,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
think we all knew-
freakish, occurrence when something actually is allowed to go on and.
yeah, we all knew that it was good and funny and interesting and different, but
That
that's
doesn't
that's
mean
never really
success.
that often doesn't translate into success. And I have the worst crystal ball ever, you know. So anything that I think is going to be huge is usually sinks without a trace. Look at the charred remains of my IMDb.
The reason I bring it up is because I grew up on Nicktoons. I watched all of them, Cat Dog and Rocko's Modern Life. And
awesome.
then he was on Invader Zim. But
Yeah.
SpongeBob's the only one that is multi-generational, it seems like, and it keeps going. And
Well, the
Patrick,
standard blueprint for Nickelodeon was 3 seasons. If a show was successful, they'd
52,
do it for 3
52 half hours.
Yeah, and then they would end it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jill is in the
I
house.
don't even know if she'll sit out. Look I told you she was here. Wait, yeah. There's some. Where's those drawings? That's got Karen on it. Hey, there you are.
yeah.
Hey, it's Karen the computer. It's Karen the computer, everybody. My real life wife, Tom Kenny. My real life wife, Tom Kenny. Jill Tower, ladies and gentlemen. So, do you want to hold down the fort while I get my suit on for this other function we're going
sure.
to? All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna look. Clancy buggered off. Look at him. There he goes. Totally buggered
Bye,
off.
Clancy.
Buggered off. Well, we created a diversion.
What was that sound?
Yeah.
Cartoon sound.
How many characters are you on SpongeBob? You play 2 or 3?
Just Karen.
Just Karen?
Yeah.
It wasn't SpongeBob then. You.
Well, there's Squidina
Oh,
on the
Squidina.
Patrick
Oh, the
show.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So, yeah, so too. I guess all in the universe, the SpongeBob universe too. Yeah.
And a lot of ladyfish.
A lot of ladies.
My favorite fun SpongeBob episode is The Best Day Ever.
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you like the song?
Yeah, it's the best day ever.
Best day ever.
It's
I
the
don't have best days.
And also I love the Krusty Krab pizza song.
Oh, sure. Best Day Ever made it into the Broadway musical, which
Yeah.
was pretty great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Krusty Krab, yeah.
There you go.
It's funny how these guys can all impersonate each other. The other characters.
We all have-
You can do everyone on the show. You can do everyone.
Except Tom. That's the only Tom you can do, right? Is when
Pretty
he's
much.
singing in
Well,
that voice.
hey, Kevin. You know,
Yeah, that's pretty
I don't do that. No, that hurts.
Tom has full job security because no one can replace him.
Yeah. We all have to do each other's voices eventually. Sometimes they're not at the session, and we have to do a scratch track for them. And I've had to do Bill once or twice, and it just destroys my throat. There's something about his voice, me trying to do it, is just incompatible.
Well, so I've always wondered, but is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, CJ, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
Yeah,
Horseradish is not an instrument either.
Okay.
However, beans are very musical. You can do a symphony with
like
that
when you
stuff.
play on the lid of the mayonnaise. And so, who sang the SpongeBob theme song?
Oh,
Who was that guy?
That's Pat Penny.
yeah.
Pat Penny.
Pat Penny.
One of the all-time, really good voiceover people in our community. And he did this song
And I
beautifully.
think it's Steve's.
And Steve's, yeah, when you,
Mouse.
I think a lot of people assume it's Tom because he plays Patchy.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
it's a
That was
stereotypical pirate kind of thing. Everybody does that.
That was pre-Patchy. I wonder if Patchy was even conceived of when they. I know that someone asked her about memories of Steven Hillenburg, and what would be some memory you had of Steven?
Well, I think about Steve coming into the room with us while we recorded, and also just that he was, I don't know, he was always very excited about every episode. And I know that he had sat with it for a while, because these guys who write it and create it, and before we get there, they've spent a lot of time going over it, rewriting it, rehashing it, looking at storyboards. You would think by the time they got to the recording that they would be bored, but he never was. I think he had such positive energy about that show, and he loved it so much. I
Yeah,
remember the
yeah.
time we went to his apartment, and he showed us his little diorama that he used when he pitched the show.
Yeah.
And it was like in a little box. I wonder where that is. If
Wow,
that's around.
yeah, I
But,
wonder,
that
yeah.
was really neat to see all the little characters.
He was so great to work with because he knew what he wanted, and when he was directing us, he never browbeat anybody. He just, he said, "Oh, that's good." He knows that's good, and he went on. Like when he needed to design Squidward's laugh, and they had a gag that they were going to use where the big honking nose accordions, and so there had to be a rhythmic quality to it. So he came up to me and he told me that, and I was went, ha 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 ha, and he went, "That's it," and walked away. So he created it, so it was wonderful.
Did you do any sort of, I guess, like trial and error when you were developing that voice? Like when you saw Squidward, did you know what he sounded like the first time you saw
Well,
him?
I knew in my mind what he sounded like because once again he had this. They give you the drawing, and the breakdown of what his character was, and he had this big nose. So I put him in the back and a little nasal back there, and he was sarcastic. "Oh, please," kind of thing. And fortunately, that way again, Steven knew what he wanted. He knew it fitted in there, and so we just ran with it, and that's the way it was. It wasn't a big deal actually. It was because my natural voice anyway. It's pretty close to that.
When I read for him, before I read, he played Tom doing SpongeBob before because he'd already cast Tom. So he played it for me. So I got to hear Tom do this character, and then he said, "So you're his friend, and and so you're the other kind of side of the dynamic," and and it was all just so simple and clear. It was so great. And now he was, what? I had this neat thing happen one day because if I'm working on camera, which I hardly ever do anymore, but if I do when I'm on the set, I sign pictures for the crew and stuff for their kids or whatever. And this guy came up to me. I don't know. He was an electrician or something. And he came up and he said, "When I was a kid, I went on a field trip to the La Jolla Aquarium. And Steven Hillenburg was working there, and I can remember this really cool guy, and he had these he had these panels, and he was so excited to be with us. And I remember it was such a neat kind of a come full circle
I met
kind of moment.
His coworker we went up there once, and I met Steve's
At
coworker.
La Jolla?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the coworker told a story about how Steve drew like a cartoon for the kids, like to explain the sea creatures to the kids, because he was, you know, that was his passion. And he told the guy, his coworker, that he wanted to quit and work in animation, and the coworker told him, "No, don't bother. You'll never work. You'll never succeed."
You'll never make a
Good thing
kid.
Steve didn't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was a marine biologist, he actually incorporated that some of those facts about the creatures and stuff into our show. And a lot of people don't know that actual fish in the ocean walk around. And they carry and they ride buses and they have campfires.
Campfires, campfires are a big
and fast food
S'mores
places.
are super
You have to go
popular.
really deep in the ocean
Yeah.
for campfires.
Yeah.
It's really down.
Well, he cleans up right nice.
Yeah, look who cleans up nice.
Wow.
There we go.
I just found out recently that I never even noticed that those are mufflers.
Yeah.
A la
Yes.
Speaking to all the trash we dump in the ocean. That
I
all
only
the
learned that
buildings of
recently.
Bikini Bottom are mufflers. All those years I didn't even know.
Yeah,
The Krusty Krab is a crab trap.
it's a lobster trap.
Yeah,
Lobster
yeah,
trap.
right, exactly.
Lobster
Yeah, yeah.
Will Jill be at Lexington with Tom? No.
I don't
Yeah,
think
you're
Larry's
holding
ever.
down the fort.
That is a
Oh,
great
I
color,
see.
Tom.
Why, thank you.
Yeah.
I got
I
this
didn't even
years
see
ago.
that, you guys. I'm so
He can't get out though.
He got this years ago and it still fits him.
Metallic SpongeBob, $1,700.
Wow.
Wow!
$1,700 for metallic SpongeBob.
Whoever did that, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Like we said,
Yeah,
it all goes to the Ed
that's
Asner Family Center here, and they
wonderful.
do great work. I mean,
And that's a very special thing. I hope it brings you a lot of pleasure.
Yeah.
Because that's a generous donation.
yeah.
Yeah,
thank you.
congratulations, guys.
You've done Lexington in the past, Roger, right?
I have done Lexington
yeah,
before,
I wish you
yes.
were doing it this year.
Yeah,
and then the
me
High
too.
Seas are playing on Saturday the 24th. What else? Tom Kenny and the High Seas. I'm not on any social media, but the band is on Instagram, Tom Kenny and the High
Band is
Seas.
awesome
Look us
if
up.
you're
Come on out and see us.
around. There's-
But if you look up that aforementioned Tom Kenny and the High Seas on Instagram, my band members that are more responsible than me will have it all on there.
Jill, when you pop in at rehearsal, are you met with hostility and resentment for the band?
Oh, here comes Yoko. Here comes
Yeah.
Here comes Yoko. No.
What's she doing here?
Jill's like, yeah, play more gigs. Get out of here. yeah, she's
I
the.
can clean out the garage and get rid of things.
Yeah.
Where's money?
Yeah, exactly. What song would you associate with your characters? Best day ever. What song would you associate with your
I'm
characters?
Squidward, I'm Squidward.
I'm Squidward.
That's a good song. You gotta study the words though and
And
memorize
because
them.
I'm Squidward.
Sweet, sweet victory.
Yeah.
Actually, Superior is mine.
Yes,
but that's not
Superior.
on a show.
And there's a SpongeBob project coming up that I don't think we're allowed to talk about yet, where both Jill as Karen and Mr. Lawrence as Plankton get to sing some really fun songs.
Don't talk about that.
That's all I'm going to say. I said a project,
And I will tell you
some fun songs. I was
Who
suitably.
was crying when they found out they had to do a song? Who started to cry? Me, because I'm afraid to sing. Really afraid.
Singing's
Like I have
very
a phobia.
emotional.
She's singophobic. She's like, I'm tone deaf. I can't sing. I'm like, hey,
I am not.
look at me.
kidding.
I'm the same way, and I have a band. It's okay.
Was Tom helpful?
He
in
was helpful,
recording
you
that?
know, and
Yeah.
so was Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence cheered me on, and I got through it. And so yeah.
Would you expect me not to be helpful?
Are you afraid to sing?
I
You're
don't
right.
know.
You're right, Jill. It'll never work. You'll never do it. Boo. Yeah.
Maybe Marnie Nixon is still around. We could get Marnie Nixon to come
You know
in.
Spencer? Have you? Yeah, you met Spencer before.
So are you afraid to sing? Did you say?
I can sing.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
she's-
okay.
no
Okay,
fear.
you're not afraid.
No fear.
She's the opposite of being afraid to sing,
Yeah.
right? You're not afraid of anything.
I'm not afraid of it. I get nervous sometimes when I first go on the stage and.
Right.
But
And
that just means you care.
yeah.
You know?
That's okay to be nervous. But okay.
The lunchbox is running.
The Lunchbox, which is SpongeBob as Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Little Plankton, Funko Buddy,
Yeah.
as Shredder.
Yeah, and this is only one of 1,000. They were manufactured in 2014.
For the San Diego Comic-Con. It was
Yeah.
a 2014 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
SpongeBob did a
There's not very many.
Ninja-
And how many have been signed by the cast?
Not
None.
many.
Well, I don't know.
And the whole cast.
Not the whole cast.
That's
really
a
unusual.
that's a Funko Pop unicorn,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
That might be the
bid
only one
accordingly.
Yeah.
signed by this whole cast.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't recall ever signing.
Yeah, Will.
Is it still going, or it's still going? Keep going. Keep it going.
Wow.
Will it hit 4,000?
We are up to $17 million, ladies and gentlemen.
3,300. 3,300.
How about
Wow.
that?
Thank you so much.
We love
Ed
you.
Asner, how about that?
Yeah, that's great.
And I have something to say.
Yeah?
Like, will Karen and SpongeBob will act together?
Oh.
We'll get a scene together.
We get to do some stuff together, right? We just did.
Not a lot.
We just
I
did
mean-
the one. We just did an episode where, Plankton's little amoeba dog Spot.
Yeah.
He goes to some villain convention, and you are left minding the pet, and then the pet is misbehaving, and you come to me for some tips. So Karen and SpongeBob, a rare episode where they're kind of learning how
Karen's,
to.
Jill's
like-
pretty
It's
much
in my
trapped with
contract
Doug.
that I don't work with Tom. I'm like, please. I have to listen
It's
to
in the
him
rider.
shower.
Yep,
Listen
yep.
out.
I don't think we've ever had dialogue either. Maybe
Yeah.
one time there was like,
Jill-
"Hi, Karen."
Jill demands that. No brown M&Ms and no scenes with Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, like because they should have a scene together.
That's true.
I think you're right. Spencer, you're
It's
the
hard
greatest.
for Tom to leave.
Nice to see you. I've always wanted to do that on a talk show like Bob Hope, All right, cool. Oh, I gotta go. I feel so important now.
And
By the way,
you.
most Saturdays
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
I'm
nothing
sorry,
to do.
I
This
got-
is a rare one.
I'm scooting.
He's scooting.
Scooting on down.
So-
Moving
First
up to
met Tom.
the east side.
I was doing a Saturday morning cartoon on based on that's all right on oh jeez, what was that? What was the movie? Jim Carrey movie and Jeff Daniels, the
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. I did a Saturday morning cartoon called Dumb and Dumber. It was around '94 or something, and one day as a guest, in walks this stray cat looking dude, the super he was so stylish. He had the sideburns. His hair was more boofy.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I met Tom.
Wow.
And of course he killed it, but he had just started, I think, doing cartoons then.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
was before that he'd been a stand-up in San Francisco.
When did you start doing cartoons? Because Coach ran for how many seasons?
88 to 97, and I got a call one day from my agent. My agent said, they're sending out a breakdown for a character, a dog in this cartoon, and they want it to sound like Dauber from Coach. Do you want to go in and read?
Really?
I thought, well, what if I don't get it? Wouldn't that be depressing? But happily I got it, and it was Beethoven, and I did. I think it was a Great Dane. That was a Saturday morning cartoon. Joel Murray did Beethoven, and it was a really loaded cast. And that kind of led to being able to. I then did Gargoyles and.
I've heard his music. I didn't know he was a dog, though. That's pretty impressive.
Who's that? What?
Beethoven.
This guy.
Sandy's the lone. She's the only land animal in Bikini Bottom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like in
Oh, what's that line about hibernation? It's like making you look ugly or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's making you look all ugly. Yeah, I can't remember that, but
that's what hibernation is.
yeah, I love the whole thing. And the first thing, I was filled with such glee the first time we saw Sandy as in a live action like stuffed toy. On it like a stick, just like
a stick coming out of the water. Yeah,
It was so magical to me. I loved it so much.
and also Squidward.
Yes,
they made a special little model of it with the nose.
Yeah, but
you were a starfish. Tom was a sponge.
But you were Squidward.
But I was Squidward.
And
I
looking
love
good.
the montage of the cleaning montage where someone's doing their dishes.
Or someone is using SpongeBob to clean out a toilet.
Yeah.
And right.
And poor Patrick.
I love the mix. It's kind of genius. The mix of like live action gags, like the Super Bowl, the Sweet Victory, the Super Bowl footage. And stuff
We've
like
got
that.
another one coming up that I will be a part of. I was just been told that they're going to let me do something on camera with the beard, by the way.
You on camera.
Yeah.
Like
They're in Goons on the Moon, and I'm really proud of myself for talking myself into this. Squidward is a a stowaway on the rocket ship in the moon, and he stumbles out and is in this tunnel. He keeps trying to find his way out, and he keeps poking his head through a hole. And when he does, it's a live-action version of he's inside a guitar or something really weird. And the third time he pokes his head through, his head comes through in the real world in a Nickelodeon animator's computer. And so he screams, and I talked them into letting me be the actual animator. So Squidward comes out and he screams, ah! And then the animator screams, ah! And it's exactly the same scream.
So you get to interact with.
I get to interact with myself.
You guys did a live action pilot episode.
I was just going to mention that. Yeah. I think it should be a spinoff, actually.
You think so?
Yeah, the spinoff we did with Trusty Slab, out in Castaic,
Oh,
remember that?
Oh yeah. Was that when Plankton is the burglar? Or
as a burglar, and they had the tour thing that was a bus aquarium.
Does this guy live under a rock or something?
Yeah, right.
I swear.
Yeah, and Sandy's there.
Yeah.
Well, and Clancy, Clancy was so amazing in that.
Yeah.
He embodied crabs.
Absolutely. The weird thing about it was, we're all used to being in a studio and hearing each other do the voices for all these years. But when you're on set, in costume, in makeup, and you're standing in front of me going,
yeah, right. Wait, this is human. It's not me just looking at a script, hearing the next where I
there's a person dressed up.
You look like that.
Yeah.
That's distracting.
And it was the Twilight Zone. I kept hearing Rod Serling all the time.
Yeah, that was a crazy day.
Crazy. Yeah. Wonderful time. I wish we could do that more.
Patrick doesn't always forget stuff. What to order.
Oh, yeah.
All that.
He goes,
Patrick, go be stupid somewhere else.
Don't you have somewhere else to be stupid?
Not till 4.
Yeah.
See, that's why I said Patrick's a lot like Mermaid Man, because he's Mermaid Man's a little senile a little bit, and forgetting stuff. Yeah. There's that one scene where he says something about I don't think Mermaid Man will mind, and Barnacle Boy goes, "You are Mermaid Man."
To the broccoli.
Evil.
Evil.
Do you know what evil stands for?
Even villains.
No.
Every
I
villain is
lemons.
Every villain is lemons. Yes. Words to live by.
It kills you when someone comes up and says, "Hey, say such and such a line," and they're so filled with glee and anticipation, and I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
They know more about the show and the dialogue and the sequence than we do.
And I had to go back.
Yeah.
I had to go back because I did not remember. It's not my wallet, and that's such. And I had to go back because I had to
really
watch
funny
it.
scene. Yeah.
I had to watch it just to return to the awesomeness of that episode.
So this is yours.
That's a meme too that gets played out a lot.
Right? Yeah.
Here's your wallet. How was the swearing episode? We must mention this. Of course, you remember the Sailor Mouth.
Yeah.
And Sponge and Pat learn how to cuss, and they substitute dolphin sounds and all those kind of things.
Yeah,
and then when it came time for Clancy to do his, Steven said, "Well, why don't you just go ahead and cuss, and we'll just substitute the stuff in there." We weren't cussing when we did our parts, but Clancy got to do that, and I'm sitting ahead of him again, and he cussing up a blue streak. And they record everything in Nickelodeon, so somewhere in the vaults there is this passage of tape
of Clancy.
Wow. I had to take a shower after I was done. I learned new words when Clancy did this. So so next time you see Sailor Mouth and Clancy's doing his thing, just remember he's really cussing.
He went for it.
Wow.
Yep.
That was inspirational.
We have what's your favorite animated movie and outside of SpongeBob movies?
Ooh.
Mine is A Bug's Life. My first job I ever worked with Pixar because I got to do a bunch of stuff at once. What we call free and clears. You're not just doing group stuff, And so that was I got to meet John Lasseter at the time, so it was pretty cool.
Well, my first, when you're a kid and you see, animated features were only in movie theaters. It was rare that anything of an animated feature length was on television when we were kids. So not only was it an animated feature, but it was on this giant screen. And so you know, seeing, I can remember, I mean, the first time I saw Bambi and Snow White, both just kind of blew my mind. And then also I really loved, because it has animation, Mary Poppins when I was a kid.
Oh, that was...
I just loved them so much because you had the mixture of animation and these performances by you know, Julie Andrews and David Tomlinson. And
I love the Roger Rabbit also for that reason, the
yeah.
mixture of things.
Right, yeah.
And Bill and Roger, I really appreciate you guys sticking it out here.
I would not have missed this because, especially my connection with Mr. Asner. I mean, that was one of those wonderful things, just like with Ernest and Tim, to be able to work with them and see how nice the people they were. Yeah. So I would not have missed this for the world.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. It was yeah, well done. You guys know what you're doing. And I got to say, just selfishly too, the idea of being with Clancy, Tom, and Roger as living human beings in one space was extremely appealing because of the last few years. So,
yeah, really. You know, we've been working since COVID. Nickelodeon set us all up to do home stuff, and I was very lucky. I just put in a little booth in my garage, and I'm liking working at home. But you just want to be around your friends, you know, and work in that real existence.
And dude, I think it's better to record with the person you're with.
Zoom can only do so much. Right. I can see you doing your stuff, but it's not the same. You know?
It means more to my brain.
Yep.
And my brain affects my response.
And Nickelodeon's coffee is better than mine too.
The coffee.
La-da-dee, la-da-dum,
la-da-dee, la-da-da, la-da-dum. Roger invented that song.
No, that was actually Steven. He said in this one scene that we had, I had to cross the room and I'm just humming. So he specifically gave me la-da-dee, la-da-dum, la-da-do. And it just stuck.
I never knew that.
And it tickles Bill every time I do it. You know.
That was season 1, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, I love that.
Wow.
That Squidwardism.
I've used it forever since.
And I love the scenes when Squidward sings in the shower.
Yeah, he's always doing, and he's usually singing that melody also.
And also he sang a song from an opera from Barbara DeVille. The Figaro song.
Figaro.
I love Squidward's anticipation as he puts the clarinet to it. Yes, and the big.
And then the boos happen.
Right, then he just destroys it.
Everybody's whispering.
All right.
Everybody's whispering.
Whisper louder.
Speak louder.
Oh, a Squidward scream. Does Squidward have a scream?
Oh my God, the scream this man generates.
Oh, no.
Now,
you didn't warn me. I was not prepared.
Small story there in the episode where SpongeBob finds Mermaid Man's utility belt, and he turns the ray on Squidward and shrinks him down, and then he tries to get him back by continuously pushing the button, and more horrible things happen to Squidward. That was when, and I gave a different scream each time, and that was when they discovered that I could scream. After that time, they make me scream every show.
Your life changed.
Every show,
that
yes,
day.
yeah. It did. It changed.
Oh, Squidward's going to scream here. Yeah, and
yes.
they write to it, and it
And he also
incredible.
screamed when he trying to blow a bubble.
Yeah.
right. yeah. I love Squidward's bubble. Remember that first? Yeah, that's so great. Here's the thing. Is that from an episode?
You have to hold this when you say it.
What is
the thing?
Oh, duh. Okay, thank you for helping me. Here's the thing.
There's the thing.
You gotta hold it or something.
Oh, hey, Roger. By the way, before I forget, here's the thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to explain now. Here's the thing. We have beaten that joke to death.
That's one of the greatest things that's ever happened. Right there. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
That's something.
It definitely is.
Once there was a little, what is it, an urchin? Or was it a scallop?
A little baby scallop.
Once there was a little baby scallop, and it was so ugly that it died. The end. Go to sleep now.
But it actually flew away.
Oh, is that the line?
Yeah.
Oh.
I heard the rumor, I don't know if this is true or not, that Patrick initially was supposed to be like a bully.
Wow, I never heard
You know,
that.
and they changed it to best friend.
Oh,
You know, 'cause
interesting.
I don't know whether that's true or not, but I thought I heard Tom talking about that once.
We have sold every item tonight.
Wow.
Wow, thank you.
100%.
And I have a very quick
Thanks,
list
everyone.
of thank yous for everybody that made this possible tonight, from donations to sourcing Funko Pops to sourcing items to helping with production and everything. So here we go. We have Pops Grading, MC Custom Pops, La Cheetah Collects, PNW Pop Hunter, The Pop-A-Lots, Your Pal Sal, Dr. Dale 20, $7 a pop. I can't read this one. Bourbon King Collectibles. Okay, Ryo Pops, Mark Morrill, E68th Street.
You're good at reading.
Check me out, Pops. 2 gays, 1 pop. A AG3 all the way.
That's funny.
Mr. Bones, Wasatch Pops, that's Mason, I know him. Ethan Terra, Hodgepodge-tastic Collectibles. That's a collectible store in San Antonio, Texas, and they donated a pop. Milo Nichols, Matt and Nava Asner, of course. We have Griffin Paisley, Brian Pineda, Blake Silva. Thank you, Vaulted Vinyl, for providing all of the pop protectors for tonight.
Nice.
Thank you, Whatnot, for hosting this stream. Cindy and Thomas. And thank you, Jill. And also Caesar and Pedro at UPS, because we had some packages get lost this morning, and they saved the day. So thank you, everybody.
Wow.
Congratulations, everybody.
Spencer. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
And thank you, Bill. And thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
No, thank you.
And thank you, everybody that
Thank you.
purchased something tonight. And Kratos 21, thank you.
Way to go, guys.
Thank you. Cut.
That's a wrap.